It was the late 1950s and into the early 60s. Rhythm and blues music was beginning to see some offshoots. Artists such as Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke were taking rhythm and blues to a smoother sound. Then came the Motown Sound. Rhythm and blues blended together with pop sound. You had artists such as Smokey Robinson, Mary Wells, and Marvin Gaye taking hits to the top of the charts. While this was going on in Detroit, New York, and Philadelphia, there was a growing R&B emergence becoming known as soul. One of the early movers and shakers that brought soul music to the forefront of popularity was Dan Penn. Dan helped shape the development of Southern soul music and legendary songwriting, musicianship, and production. Dan was born in Birmingham, Alabama. He moved to the Florence Muscle Shoals area while still a teenager and was a lead vocalist in a group called the Mark V Combo. When asked what kind of music they played, Penn would reply, "Rhythm and blues, man. There was no such thing as rock. That was something you picked up and throwed." Or threw. It was around this time that he also wrote his first chart record, Conway Twitty's Is a Bluebird Blue. Later on, he would go to the famous studios of Muscle Shoals, and he would record under the names of Lonnie Ray, Danny Lee, and finally Dan Penn. Some of his early writings included the songs such as I'm Your Puppet. On I'm Your Puppet, Dan would say, we did our usual thing, which was go get a barbecue plate or a burger, then we came to the studio. And I just bought a little 12-string guitar that sounded pretty good, so I started playing. Spooner just slid in, and the next thing you know, we're into this song. I started writing the riff, we cut a little demo, and Rick came up to Nashville and put some strings on it with me. Actually, it was a record that came out by Dan, and he thinks it's on MGM. Okay. And it was called The Puppet. Later on, the Purify brothers would be brought up, and as they were going through some demo files, they found this song, and they started singing it, and they made it I'm Your Puppet. And if I got my facts right, at first Dan wasn't real happy with the song.
Too fast.
Too fast. But he did learn to deal with it when he became a hit, I guess.
And the checks got there.
In the checks.
First check, I'll change my mind.
I guess that happens. He loved Jimmy Reed, Bobby Bland, Ray Charles, Little Milton, James Brown. He loved that type music, and the music that he wrote shows that. He would write songs such as Sweet Inspiration, Cry Like a Baby, and Out of Left Field. One other story. When Dan wrote the song, when Dan was producing the song, The Letter, he had asked the singer, Alex Chilton, to use the word aeroplane instead of airplane. He thought it would flow better. So the next time you listen to The Letter, listen for aeroplane, and you'll know why the guy is saying aeroplane instead of airplane. Lots of stories as these guys did all that they did throughout the years. One story I'll share with you. Years ago, when I was first introduced to the album, that was recorded, I believe, in '98 on a London and England and Irish tour. There's a part in there. My boss was playing the CD for me, and he wanted me to hear the part where they're introducing the song "The Dark End of the Street." And Dan makes a comment on the album, and he says, "Someone asked me one time what version of Dark End of the Street do I like the best?" And I think his words are something like, "Did anybody do it but James Carr?" So what he means is James was the best on that song. But they did a great version of their own version on that CD. If you can get a copy of it, please listen. But Dan has done so much for us in the music world and the Birmingham Record Collectors. Again, we take the honor of inducting him into our class of 2013 inductees. Mr. Dan.
nice to be here. I didn't know there was such a thing in the state of Alabama. People collecting records, buying and selling. And, I know everybody. Hello. I know hobbies are important. I fool around with old cars, and some people collect records, and I understand that. And glad you're collecting some of mine. I'd like to thank Jack Wilson and the guys here in Birmingham that got in touch with us and asked us to come up here. But yeah, I started out with Cheryl and Rick Hall and Donnie Fritz and him to spin it on them and writing songs with everybody I could, and had a lot of help along, but I had a pretty good run. I remember going to Don Mosley's radio station in Columbus, Mississippi, and sitting with him playing the records we did in Fame. But it's great to be here in Birmingham. I'm glad this is going on. It seems healthy. So thank you very much.
Thank you.